Hey, Greg. With Marco, was the 60-minute mark what you were looking for going into this game? And also, how did you see him impacting the game? Played a pretty big role in the win here tonight.
Yeah. Our target was right around 60, 55, 60. I thought he came in and he brought just class, composure, intelligence, obviously, quality. A lot of things. I mean, in a way, he made things look a little bit easy at times, where it's just smooth and it's in the flow and in the rhythm of the game and just picking things out. So I thought it was great. I think, in talking to him coming into this game, he feels like he's 60 to 70% to where he wants to be fitness-wise. So because he hasn't gotten much in terms of team training time, we have to be also progressive in how many minutes we give him. Hopefully getting a full week of team training under his belt going into next week, he'll be further along for sure. But just, again, you see just his quality out on the field and the pedigree is there. It's pretty clear to see. So it's exciting. You get Ricky who's buzzing around and Marco who's just calculating his spaces and what the next play is going to look like, and it's an interesting combination. It unlocked them at the end. I mean, I felt like they did a lot of work for 60 minutes because we had the ball so much and the ball was moving a lot. I felt like they had to do a lot of defensive work and spaces started to open up a little bit more and pockets and opportunities started to open up, and then we were able to take advantage of those with the quality and the decisions down the stretch. So it was nice. It was nice to see them out there. I wanted to see Gaston out there as well in that pivot position. So we kind of got there as the game progressed.
The challenge you guys are facing now with Marco is getting everybody on the field that playing time. You swapped out 3 of your midfield there. What was the thinking process there?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to get everybody on the field who has quality, but that's what happens when you have a good team and a deep team. Is certain guys on certain days are going to have to come in and impact the game. You see the guys that came in made the difference in the end. The guys who set up the game, they set it up for the guys who came in to win it, and that's what you're going to need. Is if you're going to be a team that can compete for a championship, you've got to be able to impact games for 90 minutes, and you got to have guys who can come in and can change the game. It creates some competition. It also creates, different profiles. Marco's a different profile than Mark. And, when Joe goes to the outside and Miggy comes on, that we got a true 9 on, and Joe went to more of his natural position. When Gaston came on, it was some fresh legs and Gaston's qualities, which are a little different than Eddie's. So it's nice because we have options, and that's great. And, if these guys strive to compete to win a cup, they need each other. We need every one of these guys, and everybody's got to be ready when called upon to do the job. So it was nice to see that happen tonight.
Hey, Greg. It seemed like with Marco out there, it lifted everybody else as well. Like he makes the players around him better. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was an exciting moment. I mean, obviously, as I said, when you have the quality, the pedigree, all those things, guys are excited to play. You see his immediate impact, but also the stadium starts to lift up again. It had been 60 minutes of 0-0, little bit of, we just missed a penalty, a couple minutes before. There may be this feeling like, is it going to happen or not happen tonight? And now you bring on Marco Reus and the crowd gets going again and the energy level picks up, and with Gaston and Miggy and everything started to pick up in tempo and whatever you want to call hope in the stadium, everything. The energy started to pick up and guys started to go. So I think all of those things contribute to that.
Your thoughts on the first 60 minutes, what you liked, what you maybe didn't like, and just the defensive performance throughout?
Well, I thought in general we were good with the ball. I think we ended up with 70% just over 70% possession. So we were pretty good with the ball. With 70% possession, as we said in the first half, we need to create and finish more attacks in dangerous areas. Sometimes we were almost getting there and then turning back out and keeping possession, and then more numbers were behind, and we were, I think, trying to get, Joe's not a natural 9, so he's he's sliding over, getting involved in plays and getting areas where he's comfortable with. And so a little bit of it was us being a little bit more, for ourselves, a little more predictable and a little bit more certain when we were going to look to finish attacks so that we could get guys in front of the goal and get people in. It becomes, when you pass so much, it becomes a little bit uncertain for the guys who are trying to get in front of the box when the play is actually going to end and when to get there. So we needed to develop, and this we talked about at halftime, creating a little more certainty when we do good in good areas to whip balls in behind the back line or cut back crosses or set guys up for shots. We need to do that. You can't turn out and put more passes together. You can if you're up 2 or 3-0, maybe you can consider that, but not at 0-0 and you're trying to get on top of the game. So I felt like, but I did feel like for the most part, you know, when you have 70% possession, you can lose balls in bad areas that really can hurt you the other way, and I felt like we minimized those. We had a couple, but we didn't have a lot of them. I think our pass completion was over 90%, which means that we're not just losing the balls carelessly and putting ourselves in bad situations. I thought our counter-pressing was better on the day. We were more aggressive to disrupt their exit passes. I thought our reactions in that was better. You know, we had a couple moments that we had to deal with, but overall I thought it was better. And because you have 70%, you're only defending 30% of the game, then you got to deal with those 30% moments. I didn't think they created a ton of chances inside of their set possessions, a couple where they maybe had little transitions, and a couple offside calls that I'm glad they were offsides. So I think they were calculated by our team, but I'm not sure. I have to look back. So overall, I'm happy with the performance, especially coming off of a little bit of a longer break. To have a reasonably sharp to very sharp performance after a couple weeks off is a good sign.
Greg, I know Scott asked about on the defensive side. Maya Yoshida seemed like he had an excellent night tonight. The break seems to have maybe done him really well. What did you see from him tonight?
I thought I agree. I thought he had a very good night. I think the break was important for a few guys, especially Maya, who'd played a ton of minutes in the first part of the season, and just getting a little chance to cover, catch his breath. But I thought he had a very solid night, very clean night. Yeah, I thought he led from the back. I thought it was all very solid. So a refreshed Maya is good for us for sure. I thought Jalen had a solid night through much of the night. Some things that we've been working with him on I thought were better tonight. So good. And I thought John Nelson had a strong showing over on the left side. I thought he had a really great night in terms of, again, solid in possession. His defending was excellent. I thought he had a great night.
Hey, Greg. With Joseph Painsel's penalty miss, you guys have missed 4 penalties this season. Are we going to see another change-up of who's going to take it? What's that process going to look like?
You very much could. So I'll leave that to solve after tonight. But yeah, we can't miss penalties. It's too important, especially when you're talking, okay, we got away with it tonight and maybe we can get away with it another night. You're not going to get away with it in the playoffs. You're not going to get away with it in big games. We've got to bury those at a much higher percentage than we have. So we will address that. If we got a new guy in town, maybe he's a penalty kicker. We'll see, but we'll address it.
Hey, Greg.
Absolutely.
Great night for you and the squad.
Yeah.
Do you feel that now you have, with Marco coming in, do you feel like, as the manager who's helped piece this all together, you have the complete squad?
Yeah, I think we have a very good team. We have options. We got to get healthy, continue to get healthy, so that we can get Julian back, get a little more healthy on that left side. So it's not John all the time, every single time. You know, Martin it's important that he gets a little bit healthy, just so we have his experience down the stretch as well. Dayon, obviously, to get our 9 that's back into the mix. So but when you look at it on paper, I'm really happy with the group. You know, collectively, you can see that we have some incredible attacking pieces. So it's going to be our collective defending that is going to determine it for us. And that's the thing that while our group loves to attack and has some beautiful attacks, we all have to really grind and roll up our sleeves, and every one of us has to be ready to defend and compete on the defensive side. Because that's going to be important as we play some of these teams that are also strong in the attack but defend well. You know, teams that are hard to score against and then have transitions that are powerful. Those are teams that we've got to be able to take care of business on the defending side. Mm-hmm.
Greg, you touched on that combination between Ricky and Marco. How much is that a glimpse of what's to come in the sense of their vision, their understanding, the type of players that they are, and their quality, and how that will impact the team.
Yeah, I hope that's a glimpse of what's to come. Again, I think they can be very compatible because you see, I mean, what Ricky does, Marco isn't going to do. He's not going to dribble through people and get to the next line and eliminate the first defender. He's going to find gaps. He's going to find pockets. He plays with efficiency. He's going to link things up. He's going to find incredible passes. So Ricky, who drops low, Marco, who kind of stays high. There's a good combination there at times, you know. So the question is, like, in my head, I have a vision. Tonight I saw some of that, of what it can look like, and the key now is to continue to grow that relationship and those around them. And the other key is making sure that we're solid on the defensive side with the group of players that are out there, that we all are you know, real stable when it comes to the defensive piece, because we know the attacking creativity and quality is there for sure.
Your thoughts on the center back pairing with Maya and Jalen Neal? How do you feel?
Yeah, I thought they had a good night. Again, we had a lot of the ball, so I thought their decisions with the ball, first and foremost, starting our attacks, being solid in their decisions so that nothing really transitioned in front of them. That's a starting point, because that was 70% of the game. 30, I think our counter pressing was pretty good, so our ability to step and press some of the exit passes. I thought Jalen was a little more aggressive tonight. I think maybe he lost one duel here or there, but I thought he had a pretty good night of getting tight and being physical, something that we were wanting from him. But I thought they had a good, solid night, especially, look, we came off of a game where we gave up some silly goals in Seattle, and we wanted to bounce back, and I thought the guys bounced back and showed a certain level of aggressiveness, and also managing some transition situations that couldn't got a little fuzzy. We dealt with them pretty well.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.